And here we go. Welcome to episode 23 of the Huddle. Coming to you every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on the Blue Bombers YouTube page. These guys make fun of me for saying YouTube. On the Blue Bombers YouTube page every Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Ed Tait, BlueBombers.com. Pleased to be joined this week by Blue Bombers linebacker Tony Jones. Appreciate you, Tony.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for doing this.
Of
I
course,
know you guys
anytime.
are busy. You're busy as hell, so for you to squeeze in an hour for us right here or so is awesome. Appreciate
Anytime.
it. As we do every week, we start off with what we call the Coors Light Chill Chat. And it's a chance for fans to get to know a little bit about you. We'll throw some goofy questions at you. And this segment is brought to you by Coors Light, the official beer of the Blue Bombers.
There's regular cold, and then there's the mountains are blue cold. Mountain cold refreshment. Coors Light, the chill choice.
All right, let's get right to some quick hitters here. Tony, appreciate this. Growing up, did you have a favorite athlete or team that I want to be him?
Growing up, I was a big fan of Sean Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Taylor was, kind of my role model in the game of just how he played and how ferocious he was and how he got to the ball. And, I kind of tried to pull the little tools and tricks that he had out there in the game and try to bring it to my game. So that was my favorite player growing up. But besides that, I would say Michael Vick too as well.
Oh, yeah.
Growing up, watching him run around all over the field and make crazy amounts of plays. It's just like, it wasn't my position, but, watching him, it felt like, hey, I can go do that.
So you're a Florida guy. Were the Dolphins your team then?
I was more of an Eagles fan.
Oh.
Yeah, I was more of an Eagles fan. Grew up on the, the Eagles side, the Donovan McNabb, the Javon Curse, all those type of guys. But, I've been to, the Miami games growing up. I've been to the Tampa Bay. So it's been around, but I was more of an Eagles fan.
Right. When did you first start playing?
I started playing when I was 5, Little League.
Wow.
Yeah, so I played every year since I was 5, Pop Warner, all the way up until right now. So we're going strong.
Who got you into it? Was it your folks or?
Yeah, my parents got me into it first, but I just always loved the game. I was outside, even as a young buck, just running around. I love just sports in general. I was always playing either football, basketball, or baseball, or just running around. So. And then it clicked, and I just wanted to play football. So every year I was making sure that I was playing football.
Right on. Okay, let me ask you. I ask this every week of the guys in the locker room. Which guys make you laugh the most?
I have to say it's between Retta and who's the funniest? And I'd say Reek.
Reek?
22.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's hilarious. He doesn't try to be funny. He's just one of those guys that's just his personality is just whatever he says. It's just his facial expressions with everything. So he's a funny guy to me.
I wouldn't have expected Retta, but why?
Retta's just Retta's one of those guys that once you build that relationship with him, he opens up a little more. So the jokes come around and things like that. So. Once he gets, real close with you, he'll start, cracking jokes and stuff like that. So it's just, this team, it comes to the point where, the whole team is funny because we all get into, scuffles and stuff like that. So we're all just going back and forth with each other. So it's just a good time.
Right on. We asked a lot of food questions. Food's come up a lot on the show this year. Your game day pre-game meal, what would you eat?
Pre-game meal, I always start off with a big breakfast. I love breakfast. I'm a big breakfast guy. So, right now, if I don't cook it, I'll try to order some, good, eggs, bacon, sausage, fruit. Got to include the fruit and big breakfast. Got big, before the game. I try to get that big breakfast in, and then, I eat something lighter. Closer to game time, maybe like a nice little Subway sandwich or something like that, something light, nothing too much. And then, after that, man, I'm just fired up, ready to go. I don't need any more. But after the game, I'm starving.
Yeah.
So, I usually just go anywhere I can after the game and order a lot of food.
I was going to say, that's one of the follow-up questions is your cheat meal or post-game, you got to make up some calories.
Oh, yeah, for sure. My cheat meal right now, I'd probably have to say Wendy's.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm a Wendy's Baconator guy, man. Big Baconator. Get some chicken nuggets on the side and, I can't complain with that. I'll be good with that.
How do you sleep after that?
It's honestly the night after the game, man. It's hard to sleep for me. Like, I'm still wired up and still going. And on top of that, I watch the film after the game. Sometimes
Right after the game?
Well, yeah, about like once I get home and
Yeah.
food after that, and I watch the film and see where I could go better at. After that, man, I'm laying down. Sometimes I'm just tossing and turning, or I just throw a movie on and just binge watch some stuff and try to find a way to get go to sleep.
Yeah, so sometimes after a game, if it was a home game, you'd be up till 2.
Oh yeah, sometimes I've been up 4, 5, 6, almost 6 in the morning.
Really,
just
eh?
tossing and turning. I can't go to sleep, but hey, that's what you signed up for.
It's weird because I've seen guys traveling with the team on the way back. You're on the plane and guys are watching film because there's not much else to do, right?
Exactly.
But for a home game, are you still thinking in your head? You're rewinding all the plays, right?
Oh, for sure. It's always, we come in the next day and, we get better, figure out, where we went wrong at and, the little things that we can fix. We know that's coming next, the following day. So, we see it. We see all the things we see on the field and stuff like that. And it's just once we get to go back and watch the film, like for me the night before, I just watch it and see, critique myself in, the hardest way so I can, figure out ways to eliminate those mistakes and get better.
Yeah, I was going to, not to belabor this, but after a win or if you made some plays, I would be watching my big plays all the time.
For
like
sure.
An interception or a big knock the snot out of a guy. I watch
For
that
sure.
over again.
Yeah,
But
it's
you
all-
watch everything then.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I go through it all, between special teams and the whole special teams thing and then all the defensive plays. And, I kind of, put my notes to it and, come in the next day ready to, figure out, ways to get better.
You mentioned your pregame meal, and if you don't cook it, are you a good cook?
Oh yeah, I like cooking.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I like cooking a lot. When we have the time to. Sometimes I get a little lazy. Just want to just order some food quick, so it just comes.
Right.
But I love cooking. When it comes down to it, if I can cook, I can go to the grocery store. We'll cook it up at the house.
If you had the linebackers over for dinner, what would you make?
Got to give my guys some good steaks. I can get them some good steaks going. Maybe some mashed potatoes, a little bit of asparagus or something like that. Good clean eat meal and take care of the guys.
Well, you know where I'm going to go with this. I like the steak and potatoes. The asparagus part?
You're not a big fan?
No,
I love
man.
asparagus. I love asparagus, broccoli, greens, period. I'm a big green guy.
Okay, well, you had me at the first two. Do you remember, do you have a piece of advice or best piece of advice someone's given you or sort of a motto that you cling to that I got to remember, this is my core right here?
I mean, just at the end of the day, and this pro world is just, show up every day and put your best foot forward, and just, when things aren't going exactly how you want them to go, that's when just a little notch to just keep going harder. Not every day is gonna be your day. So it's just stacking the days almost. You just come in, with the right mindset, ready to work. The attention to details, little things like that, just add up to be big. So it's just. You just want to come in and just try to, be the best you can be.
That's the guys back there call that embracing the grind sort of thing. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, embracing the grind. You're coming in, your body's not going to feel its best every day, as if, you're going through camp or anything like that, or just in season. You might start feeling, your best week 2, week 3, and come week 16, 17, you might not feel the best. But
Right.
at the end of the day, the process is the process. So, at the end of the day, you just got to come in, best foot forward, help everyone around you get better while making yourself better.
Teams coming off a bye week. What would have been a good day off in Winnipeg for you, like even during the bye? What would you do all day?
Really on my off days, man, it's nothing too much. I'm eating, I'm relaxing, I'm kicking my feet up, making sure, taking care of my body, watching, what I eat, things like that, just to help myself prepare myself for, the upcoming week, or how can I make myself better this week, this off week for the following week. So, the workouts don't stop, the mobility and things like that don't stop. You still come up here, you get your work in, you get your protein shakes, things like that. But, after that, it's just go home, relax, and then it's film, getting your books. How can I be better here? How can I be better there? How can I, little things that just, you can always get better, so that's how I look at it. I come in, even on those off days, come in, work my body, fix my body, hydrate, come meet with the coaches if I have any questions I need to get answered and things like that. So that's kind of like a typical off day.
That doesn't even sound like an off day.
Yeah, it really doesn't, man. Just at the end of the day, you just don't want to, fall back. You're on this process. So, the main goal, get to the championship, win the championship. But yeah, those off days, it's still, a learning aspect to it. You still got to take care of your body. You don't want to just lounge around all day, get a little tight or things like that, So it's just you're always taking a step forward every day.
I think the DBs like to bowl. What are the linebackers like? If you really want to get away from the game, what do you?
Actually, a couple of us actually went go-karting.
Oh yeah.
I had to tell them.
Outside or inside?
It's inside.
The Speed World thing.
The Speed World. Yeah. I had to give a couple of the guys some work. They said that they could beat me, so I was like, man, we can go there. We can solve this any day. So we ended up going. I ended up beating those guys for like 2 seconds. So
wow,
it was a good time. But I might have told the guy to. Speed my cart up a little bit.
You got the better car?
Yeah, I told him, on the side, hey, make sure my car's faster than everyone else.
Oh, wait a minute. So how does this come up? Somebody threw a gauntlet down here and said, okay, I'm the faster, I'm the best driver. Like, how did this all come about that the linebackers?
Things like that, we'll just,
it sounds like there's trash talk.
Somebody for sure. Any type of off day, guys get together, hey, what do you guys want to do today? We can go bowling, and don't get it twisted. Everything's a competition. Like, hey, we're going here. Hey, I'm gonna outbowl all you guys, or we're going here. I'm gonna beat you guys in a race, or whatever it is. It's just the friendly competition. Just we love it. But yeah, I came up one day. A couple of the guys were like, "Hey, let's go kart." I'm like, "Hey, I'm ready, but I don't think you guys are ready." But yeah, back home, actually, a couple of the guys, a couple of my friends, we always, we're outside or going go karting or doing things together, but. Friendly competition is always fun, so I added to everything.
So do you have a bit? I like this. So you have a bit of inside advantage because did you go kart as a kid or something?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we're kind of same thing here. You got your football team. These are your brothers. You're with every single day. So any type of off, vice versa at home. You got your guys who you're with almost on a consistent basis. So we got more off days while we're home. But. Anything, man. I'm a big, water guy. So back home in Florida, I'm either on the lake, going in the ocean, or going, swimming, or just the springs. Just very outgoing and just like, things to do with, our loved ones and our, the family, who we call family and stuff like that. So I just always like, just getting things going, the party starter, just trying to get everyone together and let's go do something and things like that. And, I'm always doing stuff like that.
Okay, cool. What would you be doing right now, Tony, if you weren't playing football, you think?
If I wasn't, I'd probably, in the off season, I usually just train. I have a couple guys that I train in the off season and help coach. That's something I want to do, after football, coaching or have my own like training facility, things like that. So that's really pretty much, I get my work in and then I go, spread the knowledge of, the years I've played football, try to give back and, teach the younger guys, what it takes to, to get to where you want to get to.
So it sounds like you'd be a football lifer almost, right?
Yeah, man. I love football. I just live, eat, sleep football. You just, it molds to you. And I love the game. I love the process. I love everything about, like the competition, the brotherhood, coming together as one to a collective goal, so just things like that, man. I just love spreading the knowledge and, the things I've learned along the way.
Right on. Okay, Josh, how do you want to do this? We want to do the road travel here or start the jersey giveaway thing? What do you want?
The road travel.
Okay. This is the part that I am often most interested in, Tony, because it's your story, right? And we'll get to how you got to Winnipeg in another chunk of the show here, but I was looking it up. Castleberry, Florida is your hometown, right?
Castleberry, Florida.
Tell me a little bit about Castleberry, Florida.
Actually, I grew up all around Florida. So there's, there's two different, counties in, the Orlando area. So it's Orange County and Seminole County, man. And I've been all through Orange and Seminole County. I've been in Orange, I've been in Seminole. So I know a lot of guys from all over there. But, I mean, Castleberry is just, it's a very hot place, just you never know when it'll be split between dark if it's gonna rain or you got the sun over on this side. It's 90 to 100 degree weather. So, I mean, it's just I just grew up in Florida. I love the sun, the heat, things like that. Complete difference from the winters out here in Canada. But just growing up there, just always just the outside guy. There's just always there's always things to do. But when I'm not doing the football stuff in Castleberry, I'm either like I said, either training some guys, coaching some kids, or I'm just relaxing. So other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it.
When you were growing up, at what point were you along the road where you thought, geez, I could maybe go somewhere with football?
I think it really clicked for me when I went to junior college. So that's when it really, really clicked for me of like, man, like I have a big shot of, getting to that next level. My first year in junior college, I was,
Butler Community
College. College.
In Kansas?
Kansas,
Yeah,
El Dorado, Kansas. Yeah, a little small town. So, I mean, at that point, after my first season, man, I was getting a lot of interest, getting a lot of, phone calls, getting a lot of, scouts. Got first team all conference. And yeah, at that point, it kind of like clicked, man. It was just like, hey, it's time to lock in. It's time to really focus on the main goal. And I was, trying to get to the highest level I could. And yeah, after that, I just never looked back. I just, kept my feet down and head down and just grinded it out all the way.
So you said El Dorado?
El Dorado.
Tell me a bit about that town.
There's not too much to tell, I'll tell you that. I didn't even take a visit. Yeah, so it's one of those things. I didn't even take a visit. It's just, hey, I get to play football, So I ended up going out there. I remember Ubering in. I'm like, wow, this is different. Like, it's just like a little small community college in the middle of nowhere. And hey, if you really want it, here's your opportunity. And those type of things make you look at it. It's like, wow, like that made me look at it as of like like I want to be out of here. I want to get to that next level. I want to be one of those guys that like took full advantage of the opportunity in front of them. So, and that's what I did. There wasn't too much, going on outside of football in El Dorado, so that's pretty much it.
You ended up at Texas Tech after that. So when you were coming out of high school, were you not like Division I schools? Not
Well, so I broke my forearm, my kickoff classic. So basically it's a scrimmage, before your main season, like a week before your season starts. Yeah, basically like a little scrimmage, and I was playing both ways, playing running back, playing safety, linebacker. I was going to make a tackle, and my arm got caught in between, one of my defensive players and an offensive player, and it was in the middle. So as soon as I went to go tackle him, it was just two helmets into my arm. So ended up, the pain it wasn't that much at that point, but when we went to halftime, that's when I ended up playing the whole game with a broken forearm.
Jeez.
Come halftime, I was like, man, I can't feel like my arm. I can't take off my glove. Couldn't do anything. So they literally grabbed two knee pads. I mean, not knee pads, two thigh pads.
Oh yeah.
Put it over my forearm, wrapped it up, and then after the game, the team doctor came up to me and was just asking me questions about it, and he's feeling my arm. He's like, wow, yeah, you broke your ulnar bone. This outside bone in my forearm. He's like, yeah, you broke it. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And then, I had to go get a cast on that. Couldn't play with the cast until the last two games of the season. So, my sophomore year in high school really put me on the map. I played running back. I had like 16 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards a sophomore playing, varsity running back. I was talking to Rick Trickett from Florida State. He actually came in, talking to him and things like that. Like I was getting, my recruitment process was starting. And then, like I said, going into my, I felt like it was going to be my best year in high school, senior year, that, happened, only played the last two games of the season, and I was on defense with the soft cast. And then, at that point, that's when it kind of clicked when, going from, being a decent recruited guy coming out of high school to them, basically pulling offers or just getting off the table to now I got to go junior college. So that's when it kind of like clicked for me, like, hey, it's time.
So going from Butler to Texas Tech, that is as extreme a difference.
Huge difference, man. And Cliff Kingsbury, he was the head coach.
Yeah.
You know, he's over there, and I think he's the OC for the Washington Commanders now.
Yeah.
You know, I chose there, and before that, Butler team I was on, we were the number 1 team in JUCO. So, and I was a mid-year graduate. So we ended up going to a bowl game. I had like 10 plus offers after that. After JUCO, we ended up going to a bowl game. But since I was a mid-year graduate, I started in January for the spring in Texas. So I had about 2-3 weeks to go on whatever visits I wanted to. Like, you know, I had 10 plus, but I had to, you know, narrow it down. But I chose Texas Tech because, you know, Cliff Kingsbury, you know, he was just always, you know, flying out with the full coaching staff, you know, on a consistent basis, just making sure I'm good, making sure, you know, just everything was going smooth and just how much, you know, they put into me and how much they wanted me there. So I just took pride in that, and it was just like it just felt like it connected. And so I ended up going on a visit with one of the other guys on my team, and we committed at the end of the visit. So that's why I chose there.
Here's where the nerd in me's got to interject, because 2007 Grey Cup, Kevin Glenn gets hurt for the Bombers are in the Grey Cup, and the three quarterbacks dressed for the game in Winnipeg, for Winnipeg, were Ryan Dinwiddie, Argos head coach, Cliff Kingsbury, and Zach Taylor, the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's crazy.
Yeah, those are the 3 quarterbacks dressed for the Bombers that day. Anyway,
that's why I didn't even know. I didn't know Cliff Kingsbury came to the CFL.
Well, that's why Chris Streveler ended up down there too, because he knew of this league. Anyway, that's my little nerd interjection. Okay. So when you're done at Texas Tech, like you had a good career at Texas Tech, there's kind of a lull on your resume, because it says that the next stop I saw was Iowa Barnstormers.
Oh, no, I actually was with the mini camp with the Rams. Right?
Well, you were?
Yeah, I was with the mini camp with the Rams.
Ask you.
Yeah.
After you're finished at Texas Tech, what happened before you go to Iowa?
So yeah, I got the call through my agent that, you know, the Rams want to bring you in for mini camp. So I ended up going out there to, you know, Thousand Oaks, California, and I felt like it was one of those where, like, man, like, you couldn't tell me I was getting cut.
Who was the head coach then?
It was Sean McVay.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean McVay was there. Yeah, man, I felt like I was my best, you know, during that mini camp. Like, you couldn't tell me, but, you know, things happen. You know, I was out there doing, you know, everything, showing them, you know, things that I can do and stuff like that. But, you know, it didn't work out for me. And then I had no idea really too much about the indoor football league. Mm-hmm. You know, it was just like, wow, like, you know, it was a big wake-up call from, you know, getting that shot, you know, in the, you know, highest league, the NFL, to going to, you know, a league that, you know, sufficiently a little lower than, you know, that. So, and on top of that, so, you know, you're playing on carpet almost, you know, AstroTurf, and, you know,
it's completely different.
Completely different. You know, I remember my first game, you know, when I played in Iowa, how my body felt after the first game. It was like a big, like, wake-up call, like, wow. Like, my body was hurting. Yeah. Like, getting up, walking, it was just like every part of my body was hurting. So it was just like, wow, like, this is what it's like to play, you know, in the indoor league. Like, this is like, this is dangerous. Like, you know, you can get hurt any second. So, you know, ended up playing pretty well over there. You know, I got Defensive Rookie of the Year. I got first team, all conference, and an all rookie team. And then, you know, after that, I actually had, how it happened was I was going to play for the Iowa Barnstormers the year the COVID happened. So we literally flew out. It was our first game. We flew out to the Bay Area in San Francisco, and we got the text that, like, hey, everything's shut down. The league's this closed because of the COVID. So we ended up flying out there. Ended up didn't play that year. So, you know, the whole COVID stuff, so everything was shut down. And that coach, Amir Ismail, he's currently, you know, the assistant linebackers coach for Edmonton right now. I was going to play for him that year when it closed down, but the following year he got another job, so I played for a different coach at Iowa. And then after that, after the season in Iowa, Amir hits me up and was like, hey man, like, do you have an agent? I was like, I do, but, you know, nothing's really going on right now. He's like, man, I got a guy for you. He's like, man, he really wants to represent you. I was like, for sure. Got on the phone with him, and we had a good conversations about getting to up here in Canada. And literally 2 days later, he had me on the negotiations list for Toronto for 22.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everything, it worked out.
The indoor game, I'm kind of fascinated by this because sometimes guys play both ways, right?
For sure. You only get like 24 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 24-man roster, 3 extras that can, sub in, and those 3 that you're keeping really extra, like, have to be a versatile guy, because this guy can go down. And
yeah, and it's wild when you watch highlights or watch a game, and like as a linebacker, you're tackling a guy into the boards. Like
and you got to think, and at the same time, you have to think twice. Like, those boards are undefeated, those walls aren't moving, they're not doing anything. Like, you go in there and just throw yourself in there, you can really hurt yourself. So you really got to find the little things that you can do to prevent those things from happening. So I kind of caught on to it quick, like just be cautious, but play relentless, but at the same time you got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, you're planting a guy into the ground, but you're feeling it too, because it's just whatever it is, carpet over the
literally
hockey surface.
Yeah, literally you can literally peel up the carpet and you'll see it's just like flat concrete, like,
Is that
just
right?
laying out, like literally just laying out a piece of carpet across the field.
And I don't want to belittle it, but you're not getting rich in that league.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. I mean, this is really like almost like another junior college. Like, hey, you're coming in here, like, I mean, game checks for like $170 a week.
Is that right?
Yeah, you're getting $170 a week, but you get like a little couple food vouchers for the week.
Well, how do you live? Like, did you have to work too then?
No, our housing, they give us a spot to stay.
Yeah.
And then they give us like food vouchers for the week. So like we'll get like two different food voucher cards per day of the week.
Okay.
So I mean, we had some guys though that, got a side job,
Yep.
and to make some extra money, but it was more so for me of like really locking in to try to get to that next level.
I was going to ask you, because that would be a real test,
Really?
right? For mentally, is to say, do I really want this? Look at
Exactly. And that you go play in the IFL, you really it's like, do you really want it as bad as you say you want it, or are you just in here just to I'm still playing football?
Yeah.
So every day I just came in there ready to work, just how can I better myself, how can I help myself get to that next level, and I'd approach every day like that. So it just led me to be able to get the ability to come up here.
There was a coach from Winnipeg, John Gregory. He's passed away now. He was with the Saskatchewan too. He coached the Iowa Barnstormers.
Oh, really?
And I mean, there's there pictures of Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner's everywhere.
Kurt
Warner's everywhere in Iowa. The Iowa Barnstormers. Yeah, they play in the Wells Fargo Arena, nice arena. But yeah, Kurt Warner's jerseys are all over the place, and that's their main guy of like who's played here, big time guy. So. You're always hearing about Kurt Warner over there.
Oh, you got to have Tony Jones jerseys.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, that'll be nice. They were, after that first year, they were trying to be big on getting me back, but I was getting the calls, things like that. So it was just like that was like a pause moment, and I was trying to figure out ways, to get up here.
Right. So then I see. You mentioned the Argos had your neg list rights, and so you get to Toronto in 2022, and I guess again short camp, and then they release you, and you end up in Edmonton, right?
Yeah. So I mean, same thing, kind of similar. It's just one of those that it's numbers game almost.
Yep.
It's just like
hard for a new guy.
Exactly, very hard. I felt like I came in, and I felt I was tip top shape. I trained really hard before I got there. I felt like I was my best, one of my better camps I've had. And then, so it didn't work out, but I stayed there. I mean, they cut me like, week 12, week 13. So it's really like out of my control.
Right.
I made it through the rookie, my first, professional rookie camp, and, made it through, the regular training camp. And I was just, just that guy, in practice squad, just wanting a shot. Never ended up getting that shot, and then ended up getting released. And then Chris Jones signed me for those last couple games that year. I think it was like the last 3 games or so like that. And didn't play that first game when I got there, but the next 2 I started on special teams. And in the last game of the season, I got some defensive reps. And then, after that, man, I was, the exit meeting with Chris Jones. He's like, man, we love you. Like, we like what you can do. We like what you bring to the table. We want to bring you back for next year. And I was, let's go. So ended up coming back. That was last year, my full season. In the CFL. I was in special, all 4 specials, plug-in player here and there, getting my my couple reps on defense a game. Felt like I was doing a really good job over there, in the system and the schemes and stuff like that. And then, so after that, same, it was kind of the same conversation with Chris at the end of the year. He's like, hey man, you're doing really well. We like you a lot. We want to bring you back next year. We're going to stay in contact with your agent to, figure out the, contract agreement. And ended up actually meeting up with Chris and G-Roy in the offseason in Orlando. They were out there recruiting for the bowl games and stuff like that. So we had dinner, and basically, they were telling me I was the guy. They were telling me I was the guy. That this is gonna be a big year for you and things like that. And then here comes camp. I was with the ones the whole camp. I was doing all the little things right. I was even asking. I'd pull the coaches aside every week or so and just like what can I do better? How can I be better out on the field? I want to take that that next step this year to being the best me I can be out there, and whether it's vocal or whatever it is, like and they're just like, hey man, just keep doing what you're doing. Like you're playing some good football. So at that point, I was like, okay, I'm, keep going, keep doing what I'm doing with the ones. And then, unfortunately got the call. G-Roy hit me up and was like, hey, come in here, bring your playbook. So I go in there. And basically, he literally had like, all he told me was, he said, we know you're going to get picked up quick and we're going to be playing against you. Shook my hand. Left. That was it.
It's this happens, right? It happens to guys, but it's a weird story that they make time to have dinner with you in the off season and sign you to a new deal, tell you you're the guy. And then I remember talking to you a few weeks ago when Winnipeg played in Edmonton. I mean, you were even getting texts from teammates and coaches, like, what the hell's going on?
No, literally, like. When I tell you, like every player on the team would, hit me up, even, starting quarterback, McLeod, Beth Thompson, all those guys, like they were just like there's no way. Like I felt like I was like I said, it was one of my better camps. Like I was already in the system a year,
right.
So I knew what to expect, knew the calls, knew everything, what was going on. So this year was like, okay, this is icing on the cake right now. Like, there's not really like a full new install of what you need to learn. It was already like, okay, I know this, I know all this stuff.
Right.
So I could play fast, I could play, very efficient and very fast. So it was just one of those things that it just didn't add up. At first I was, very frustrated, when it happened, but, at the end of the day, it was just like, I knew something better was for me on the other side.
Well, we'll get to the Winnipeg chapter in a sec, but I mean, I don't know how you aren't like over the top bitter, and it's sort of like when you get on the field against them, it's kind of like, I'm going to show you guys.
Oh, for sure. I always hold that edge, and at the end of the day, like, these little bumps in the road is what makes you that much more better. Of like, well, you can take it that way. You can use it as fuel. And that's how I did it. Like, because I felt like I was at my best. I felt like I was doing very well. My teammates were acknowledging it. The coaches, most of the coaches would come up to me and was like, hey man, you're playing some great football, and then you get to the point where, they release you. So it's just like, it's just an extra fuel to the tank. And that's why I play with a lot of emotion. I go out there and it's just like, flip the switch. Like it's just like it's time to play ball. It's time to show everyone.
Those 2 games after that back-to-back with Edmonton, you must have felt pretty good.
Oh, for sure. And I felt good playing Hamilton as well. Chris is over there now. So
right. Never saw that.
He's over there, and I got 2 wins against them, 2 wins against Edmonton. So it felt good, but it also felt good, seeing all those guys that that really
they had your
vouch for me, had my back. So that's a big plus for sure.
Okay, let's take a little bit of a break here, right? Josh will do the jersey giveaway, right?
Yeah, let's
You
get
step
involved in that. That sounds good. So first, before we get on to the jersey giveaway, we have a quick word from our sponsor, Duron Equipment. They're the sponsor of our jersey giveaway. So we'll step away for 30 seconds and be right back.
What's up, guys? I'm Joel Atarski,
And I'm Zach Halaris.
and we're here at the brand new Duron Bobcat of Central Manitoba.
The Bombers have partnered with Duron Equipment to bring you the best in heavy machinery and more.
Duron Equipment helps you with the heavy lifting. They provide top-tier machinery, unparalleled service, and expert solutions. They're more than just a dealership. They're your partner in every project.
No heavy lifting for us today.
Duron's got it covered. Duron Equipment, proud partners of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
All right, yeah, let's move right along here to the jersey giveaway. So for those that are coming out for the first time, welcome. Thank you for hanging out. We got a raid from Winnipeg Sports Talk, so they sent their viewers
Always
over. We got lots of
beautiful.
people hanging out. So thank you to them, and thanks everyone for hanging out. So as usual, yeah, we're giving away a Tony Jones jersey, number 33. And so there are a couple of things. In order to win, you have to be able to come to the store to pick it up at the ticketing counter. You have to be able to come to the store. So unfortunately, we're not sending them out. You have to be able to come get it. Sorry about that. And the other one is you got to put Jones and your jersey size in chat just once. Jones and your jersey size in the same message to be eligible to win that jersey. And a random winner will be selected from people that do that. So Jones and your jersey size. And while those are coming in, we're going to hit you with some fan questions, Tony. So let me just have a scroll here. Question is, you got any good breakfast spots in Winnipeg to shout out? And then part two of that, someone else said that they're going to Orlando for Christmas and they want to know if there's any good spots to eat in Orlando.
Oh, for sure. Well, here I haven't really, found in Winnipeg. I'm basic. I did the regular, Denny's and IHOP, things that's right down the street. But I haven't found any, things other than that. But in Orlando, we have a lot of different brunch spots, downtown and stuff like that I love. We have it's called we have Egg Bandit. We have Egg Bandit that's downtown Orlando.
Specialize in eggs, I bet.
Oh yeah,
Where'd you get that from?
Can never go wrong. Can never go. But that's really my main spot that I go to. Like I don't cheat on that. Like Egg Bandit, I'm there. Like any breakfast, we're going to Egg Bandit.
Okay.
So,
Right on. Egg Bandit, Orlando. There you go. Next question's from Emily, and she wants to know, what's your favorite part about playing in Winnipeg specifically?
my favorite part, it's just the fans and the team and just the brotherhood that we have and just the community of just like, just they'll do anything for us to be our best. It's just, I love it here. I've been to two other spots, Toronto and Edmonton, and like I can't lie. It's like it's not even close of just like the community, the brotherhood, the atmosphere, just everything about just the football program is just it's so big, and this is the place where you want to play.
Right on. There's a question from someone else. They want to know what the nicest place you've ever vacationed is.
Oh, that's good.
Favorite vacation you've been on?
That's a good one. I keep, we keep it kind of local, like in the States. So, I haven't been really anywhere as in like Colombia or things like that. But I've been to, numerous states. I like Cali a lot. I've been in Denver. We went to Denver and stayed in the mountains and, went snowboarding and stuff like that. But other than that, those are, Miami. You can never go wrong, just things that, outdoor stuff, that's me, just being outside and doing things and stuff like that. But my favorite trip would probably be, the Denver, Colorado, when we stayed in the cabin and we went snowboarding.
Cool.
This is a two-parter, hard-hitting two-parter, in fact. So brace yourself for this one. This question's from Mariah, and she says, first of all, who's your favorite sibling? And secondly, what's your favorite family memory?
Oh, favorite sibling? I might get in trouble for this.
How many siblings have you got?
I have two younger brothers.
Okay.
A sister, and a stepbrother.
Okay.
So
Choose carefully because one's hanging out in
Yeah,
chat.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'd have to go with my girl, Mariah Jones.
There you go. That's correct. That's right.
That's my little. That's my little sis, man. So, and then what was the other question?
She wants to know what your favorite family memory is.
Favorite family memory is just, I mean, just having the family together. I mean, any type of event or, you know, things that we do as a family, it's always a good time, you know, just the whole family together, everyone having a good time, talking, things like that. So just anytime the whole family can get together, for sure.
A shout out to your sister for tuning in.
Look at that.
Yeah, there you go.
Where's she watching from?
She's in Castleberry.
Look at that.
Castleberry, Florida. Yeah.
Castleberry, Florida.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out. All right, we got our jersey winner. It's an interesting one here. The jersey winner is Granny Bomber fan. So, Granny Bomber fan, congratulations.
Well,
Thanks,
when
everyone.
she goes to the store to pick it up, she can't say I'm Granny Bomber fan.
Well, she has to. I mean, she'll show her YouTube account
Okay.
to the people at the ticketing
Okay.
counter, and we'll get that all sorted
All right.
out.
Congratulations, Granny
It's a
Bomber
random
fan.
winner.
Congrats,
I don't have any
congrats.
say in the matter.
That's right.
So there we go.
Granny Bomber
Congratulations. Moving along, we're gonna hit some more fan questions in a little bit. So keep those coming in, and for now, we'll move right along.
Okay. You kind of touched on this. It was one of the questions from the fans, which was excellent. And it feels like for me that you've been here for a while, but you haven't. And it's, you know, take me back to when you kind of get that blind side from the Elks and they say, thanks for coming out. It wasn't very long before the phone rang and it was these guys, right?
For sure. It was, you know, the next, 2-3 days.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, next 2-3 days.
Did you even have to think about it?
Oh, it was a no-brainer. You know, once my agent told me that, Winnipeg, really likes you and wants to bring you in, I said, let's go. Like, you always hear about Winnipeg, playing on other teams. Like it's like a week to where like, hey, you come here, not on your A game, you're going to get embarrassed. Like these guys aren't playing around. Like, especially at home, things like that. So you always hear about, the culture Winnipeg has, the FIFO, things like that. You hear that, all around, ringing bells about, how locked in, how much of a brotherhood this team is. So, once my agent called me and told me, hey, Winnipeg, O'Shea's, going to call you, give you a call, things like that. So, after I talked to him, I knew it was a no-brainer. Like, Winnipeg was on the table. It was like, let's go.
Yeah.
And especially on top of that, I have a Hall of Fame linebacker, Adam Big Hill, in the mix. So it's just like something that I can learn from, ask any questions I need to, like I said, better my game. So it was a no-brainer.
I can imagine if you get a phone call and it's Mike O'Shea, Hall of Fame linebacker. I mean, he knows a little bit about that position.
For sure.
That's
Yeah,
as
when
good
I got
an
that,
endorsement as there is.
Yeah, I remember, after I got released, my agent was like, sit tight. You might fly from Edmonton to Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't work out as fast, because Edmonton already had gotten my flight home. So, they got my flight home, and literally like that next day after I was home, I got a call, from Coach and Coach O'Shea, and he was like, man, we love your tape, we got some young guys in the mix right now, and we'd love for you to come here. I was just like, let's go. When am I flying out?
You mentioned this a couple minutes ago, Tony, about being in Toronto and Edmonton, and I hear this all the time, and I still maybe we get used to it being in the building here, but about what makes it different. And I just sometimes I'm flabbergasted that it's not the same everywhere.
Yeah, no, that exactly. It's just I feel like the biggest difference between like Winnipeg and those other teams that I've played for, like team wise, is just like how bought in everyone is and how much everyone holds you accountable. I feel like other places it's a little lower level of like not holding the guys,
What does that part mean? The accountability part?
Basically, like, we had some guys, in Edmonton, just like, would get mad that if someone would mess up a call, would get mad and just like storm off the field, little things like that, like things that like the rookies see while, this is their first time, in the league, and they get to see, things like that. It's just like, little things like that. Like you get here and it's just like everyone's laser focused. Everyone's holding each other accountable. There is no like belittle. You can say, there's no belittling people or just like, they accept you for who you are, and you come in, and it's just like, like I said, it's just the brotherhood and the commitment that everyone has, as a unit. That we're always, not saying that those other places don't have that, but it's just like there's bits and pieces of where like, just like for that instance, just like bumping heads with guys that like mess up a play call rather than like, okay, look, we're to go in the film room after practice or whatever it is, we're gonna fix it and we're gonna go, we're gonna get better together,
right?
Things like that, and then like on top of that, like we'll have guys, here, after practice, we'll go watch it, linebackers, safeties, linebackers, DBs all together without it being a problem. Some guys, other places just like, I'm done practice, time to go home.
Okay.
Things like that. So.
Yeah. Well, it's not easy to parachute into a place after the campus started like you did. And I give you a ton of credit, man, because it's like walking into a new classroom when you're a kid and you don't know anybody. And you fill in at a couple of positions already. And it's really, it's been a godsend for the Bombers that picked you up now to play at 2 different spots and start. And Adam goes down. So how do you, I won't keep you for too much longer, but how did you kind of get a feel for everything and kind of indoctrinate yourself into the Bomber way without making it about you, right? It's not easy to fit in.
For sure. Thankfully, I had, I was previously on other teams, so I kind of got the scheme of like, of how to learn or how to like, they kind of, copycat league almost,
Yep.
Teams got the same stuff. It's just, maybe a few different tweaks and different names, obviously, but that they go with the calls and stuff like that. So, when I first got here, they gave me the playbook, and that was the main thing, like I was in the hotel, 4 points, and it was just like, hey, as soon as they gave me that, let's learn this as fast as I can. Let's pick up as much slack as I can. I wasn't here for, camp, but also on top of that, I'm here before meetings and I'm staying after meetings, just trying to play the catch up game of like what they want and what they want to see and how they want it done specifically. So, once after a few days of the mix of like, okay, and on top of that, of course, reps help, it's always better, you go out there and reps. But on top of that, I was just doing the little things like walk through and stuff like that when I'm not getting the reps. I'm watching, seeing what's the call. Okay. Putting myself in that position, trying to see, okay, this is how you do this is how you do that. So I kind of caught on to it quick. And then once I caught on, it was just like I was up to date. And then now it's just like from every install from here on out, I'm good now. Now we can just, go along with that. So that's kind of how it went about.
You mentioned this right from the start too, that it's not a bad guy to watch as Adam Bighill, and it's just ironic, and it's the way of football. It's unfortunate, but now you're playing for him. But man, he must have been an influence at the start, especially, right?
Oh, most definitely. That's a guy. Whenever he's talking, you're all ears. You're a sponge to the guy who's lived, eat, and sleep. Like he's done this for what 13, 14 years. Professionally playing at a high level. So, that's something that like, that I can see myself being, playing that long. And then now it's just like, okay, how can I take what he knows, his knowledge of the game, and pick his brain and, see how he studies opponents and, just everything about just how he goes about himself, So, he's one of those guys that like, like he's on his stuff, he's always, tip top shape, tip top, like of the playbook, any questions you got to ask, he's more than ready to help you. So that was one of the guys that like, especially when I got to play with him, man, it was just like, he makes everyone around him better, So like, we're, my first game out there playing with him, it was just like, this is fun. Like, like this is really fun. Like there's no thinking, like, especially playing next to him, like he, might say something, boom, 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 instant trigger of what I need to be doing and what my concept or whatever job is to do. So, he helped me a lot, making it seem so easy, So like, all praise to him. He's a great guy, man. He helped me a lot along this, when I first got here. So, that's just, I watch him, every time we're in practice and meetings and stuff like that, I'm watching Biggie. Okay, why'd you do this or why'd you do that? So like, just picking those little bits and pieces, of his game, and then picking those bits and pieces of his brain, like, and then it just all adds together.
Well, I'm going to leave a little bit of a window here for more fan questions, but I was just thinking here as we're talking, and again, thanks for the time here,
For
Tony.
sure, anytime.
You know, you had the broken arm in high school. You go to community college in some little town in Kansas. You go to Texas Tech. You get released by the Rams. You end up in playing arena ball, the Toronto. You got to be proud, man, because I know that you got to think about Saturday in Montreal, but if you ever take a step back, man, it hasn't been easy for you.
For sure. You know, a lot of adversity along the way, but I feel like, you know, that's built to be, you know, the man I'm becoming and who I am. Like, you know, just a lot of trials and tribulations along the way. But, you know, like I said, you know, just like what I get back to the youth is that example of like, you know, everything is not going to go picture perfect how you want it to go. But at the same time, that shouldn't change your work ethic or where you want to be or where you want to go, or where you want to be in life. So it was just one of those things, like I said, it's just fuel. Like it fueled me. It just
It shapes you too, right?
Shapes me, you know, disciplines you, you know, locks you into a different state of mind where like, you know, like I'll do anything to be out here to play football. Like I love the game of football. So it was just like every day it's just like I was taking that next step, just being better in every aspect, fixing, you know, whatever I need to be fixed. And it was just like, you know, just rolling down the hill after that. So we just keep going, keep striving, keep getting better and better every day.
You know, sometimes people say it sounds cliche. Everything happens for a reason. Right?
Everything happens for a reason. You know, like I said, you know, after that, you know, the Edmonton cut, the last one, it was just like, you know, I was mad at first. You know, it was, you know, that first day when I heard it, it was like, there's no way, like how, where, you know, mind all over the place. But you know, after that, you know, after I woke up, it was just like, you know, it's going to be better on the other side. Like I know this is, you know, part of God's plan. You know, this is going to lead me to where, you know, where I wanted to go. And I always had that in my mindset to where like that when I got released wasn't going to affect me of what I wanted to do or, you know, continue playing football or whatever it is. It just, you know, put that extra stamp on like of being a better person, being a better just every day of just striving to be the best you can be every single day, no matter the obstacles along the way.
Right on. Good set. Well said. I'll tell you look good in blue with the big W
Hey, man,
on
I
you.
love it here. I love it here.
All right. Any more questions from fans, Josh?
Yeah, we got a few more to work through, and then we'll get you out of here. But moving along, first one is actually more of a comment than a question, and it's from Cynthia, and she says, "Hi, cousin. I'm very proud of you. You've worked so hard over the years, very dedicated. Your family supporting you through your journey. Trust the process." So that's nice.
Thank you so much, cousin. That's
Yep.
my cousin Cynthia.
More family hanging out.
Thank you so much.
Let me just scroll through here and see what else we got. Before you came up to Canada for the first time, had you heard about the CFL, and what did you know about it?
Actually, before I got the invite to the mini camp with the Rams, you know, the agent I had then was, you know, kind of, you know, working towards that way. I didn't really know too much. I'd never watched the game before then, and it was just like, you know, in that moment, it was more of like, man, I want to get to the highest level. You know, like right after, you know, college, it was just like NFL.
Sure.
And then, you know, like the older you get, the more you realize it's just like, man, like, you know, any way you can play that professional football, like it's a blessing. So it's just like, you know, once I was hearing about it, I was like, yeah, you know, I've never heard about it, never seen it, didn't know what to expect. You know, I didn't know the 12 on 12, the yard off the ball. You know, there's so many different, you know, things between like American football and here. So I didn't really know too much about it. After the mini camp with the Rams, my agent wasn't really, you know, talking about anything in the CFL, you know. Other than that, it was more of just like, you know, we're just keep working. We're just trying to see what's up, boom, boom, boom. And then, you know, that was kind of like the end of like, you know, the process of getting to that next level. And then, you know, like I said, once I signed with Fred, my agent Fred, that's when, you know, everything was clicking, like hearing more, like everything about the CFL and how like my game can fit, you know, really well out here in the CFL. And, you know, looking back, it's just like, yeah, like, you know, you look back and it's like, yeah, this league is like, you know, for like a guy like me, you know, like, you know, very quick, you know, so, you know, things like that. So like, it clicked then, like, okay, yeah, I would love to play for, going to play in the CFL. And then, when I got my opportunity, I loved it ever since.
Well, nobody's getting rich up here, but I imagine you're getting more than $175 a game. Right?
I tell you that.
I don't want to pry, but okay.
Most definitely.
The next question is, does Tony use butter or mayo or something else on the outside of his grilled cheese sandwich?
Butter, mayo. I never heard of the mayo, but I'd definitely butter for sure.
Yeah, okay, that's from left field.
That's kind of after that big, deep question. Gotta lighten it up a little bit with some grilled cheese.
Good. I like it.
Yeah, throw some butter on there, you'd be good.
I've heard the mayo thing before.
I've heard
try
it.
it.
I've
never
tried it.
Yeah,
Never
okay.
tried it.
We got to do a food show.
We do. Speaking of which, Matt wants to know if you have a favorite donut flavor. You a donut guy at all?
I'm not a big donut guy, but I like the Timbits. The chocolate Timbits are, my go-to if I want to get a donut. But other than that, you can't go wrong with Krispy Kreme, nice glazed donut.
Okay.
What's more taxing in pro football, the physical side or the mental side?
That's big. I'd say, it's 50-50. Mentally and physically, like, you got to be mentally strong to, to deal with certain situations that, come along the way. Like, everything, like I said, everything's not going to go as planned. So you got to be mentally strong to get over the humps of, the trials and tribulations along the way. And then physically, it's just, that's a huge part too, every day you're putting your body on the line, you're putting your hours in, you're putting, a taxing amount on your body while maintaining, working out, doing those things while feeling fatigue and stuff like that. So it's like you got to find the equal balance of, mentally and physically being strong.
Right on. This is the last one that I'll leave you with again, and then we'll pass it off to Ed to close us out. But Mariah wants to know if she can have a Tony Jones jersey for Christmas.
I got you. It was already in the planning works.
And that's all we got. That's everyone. Lots of good questions. Everyone's
Appreciate you guys.
Ed, I'll pass
Thank
over
you.
you to close it out here.
Well, again, we got a big game coming up on Saturday, so for you to squeeze in an hour, it's really appreciative,
anytime,
Tony.
man. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot. Thanks to our sponsors, Coors Light and Duron Equipment. Thanks for Bomber fans for joining us. We've missed the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago was because of the Legacy Dinner was that night. Last week, the team was on a bye. Every Tuesday, though, we hope to do this till the end of the year, 3 p.m. on the Bombers YouTube page.
Worth noting, too, we're hoping to do some cool shows for the playoffs.
We hope to do some extra stuff for the playoffs.
So we got that in the works, so that's something to look forward to as well.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. And I'm not sure about next week because it'll depend on what happens on Saturday. If we win on Saturday and clinch first, the players might be on a bye or off next Tuesday, but we'll figure that out. But pay attention to our social media channels, and we'll let you know if we're back on next Tuesday at 3. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell, and appreciate everybody for joining us, and special thanks to Tony Jones.
Thank you, guys.